Livestream is your premier place to watch live events on the web, mobile devices, and connected TVs. See new events daily or broadcast your own at livestream.com. Livestream. Be there.
Welcome to Let's Bet. I'm your host, Scott Pritchard. Let's Bet is about sports betting, sides, totals, money lines, you name it, we do it at the Vegas Video Network. I've been betting sports professionally, full-time, in-laws. A lot of distractions here at the studio, ladies and gentlemen. Been betting sports professionally, full-time, 30 years. I'm going to show you how I do it. Joining me, as always, a man who is a true perfectionist. He remains perfect, 4-0 ATS against the spread, Jacob Cannon.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky and good, but sometimes it's better to be nice and smooth, just like us.
Not bad, but you are a far cry from Bo Derek, the true perfect 10.
Oh, I'm not claiming I'm Bo Derek, but I do have something happening here.
We'll be checking back with Jacob a little bit later on in the show. To reach out to us, a couple of things you can do. You can check out the listener line, 1-866-966-4599. That's 866-966-4599. Maybe we should have rehearsed before we went live here. The other way you can reach out to us, email us at letsbet@vegasvideonetwork.com. That's letsbet@vegasvideonetwork.com. Before we get into this week's action, let's recap what took place 1 week ago. Jacob and I, we had an opinion on the Ravens hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. The side, Ravens, minus the 1.5. It's rare that Jacob and I are on the same side. We both like the Ravens, minus the 1.5. Easy winner, 35-7. Jacob, how do these sports books stay open?
I don't know how they stay open, and it's true, we do have a couple of distractions here in the studio today, but nothing's going to keep us distracted from beating down another sports book this weekend.
Keep our eyes on the prize. Let's talk this weekend. Chargers taking on the New England Patriots in New England. Patriots are favored by 7. The total for this game is 53. Jacob, who do you like?
I'm going to buck my own trend here a little bit. I'm usually a side guy, but I'm going to go with a total, and I'm going to go under, surprisingly, despite Mr. Tom Terrific's Monday night performance. I'm going to go under, and I'm going to say one of these defenses is going to knuckle down.
To recap Jacob's play, he likes under 53 in the Chargers-Patriots game. Before we get to my selection, let's take a look at how these two teams match up. First of all, the San Diego Chargers. I know this team extremely well. I've been singing a song about the Chargers the entire year. I have a love affair with the San Diego Chargers, but as Jay Giles says, love stinks. And so does Norv Turner, the coach. Last weekend, I went to see the Chargers play the Minnesota Vikings. Great game. Exciting game. I had club level seats, had a great time. Lady friend and I enjoyed the game until the fourth quarter, obstructed view. I didn't mind because she was on my lap. But I did mind when she charged me $20. Just a little humor here at the Vegas Video Network on a Friday morning. The Chargers, we're talking about a team that's 1-0. Last weekend in San Diego, as I was at the game, they were down 17-7. And they came back to win the game 24-17 as they held Donovan McNabb, the Minnesota Viking quarterback, to only 39 yards passing. The Vikings have some issues. They're up 10 at halftime, but in the entire second half, they ran 17 plays for a total of 26 yards. Now, during the offseason, the Chargers, we talked about last year, 9 wins, 7 losses, number 1 in offense, number 1 in defense. They have talent, questionable coaching. They had a lot of turnovers a year ago. They also had terrible special teams play. So imagine, I'm excited. I drive 4.5 hours to see the Chargers take on the Vikings. Opening kickoff. It's a new year, new season. Optimism is everywhere. Me and 71,000 fans going crazy. Opening kickoff. Run back 103 yards. The Minnesota Vikings, it took them 12 seconds to score 7 points. The Chargers, same old Chargers. But they came back to win the game 24-17. Phillip Rivers outstanding. Tolbert, 3 touchdowns. This team, out of 32 teams in week 1, one team, there's only one number 1. No, it's not Jacob Cannon. I'm talking about the San Diego Charger defense. No team gave up fewer yards than the San Diego Chargers. We talked about only 39 yards passing for Donovan McNabb and the Minnesota Vikings. Rushing the ball, Adrian Peterson had 98 yards, but 46 of those came on one play after he broke not 1, not 2, but 3 tackles. The Chargers, defensively, the real deal. They do have a couple of injuries. I think they'll be fine. Last year when they hosted the Patriots, talking about 23-20 final score. Patriots won, even though the Chargers had 5 turnovers and they missed a chip shot field goal. The big key here, my friends, Charger defense. Last year, they held that high-powered offense of the Patriots to 179 yards total. Now, let's talk about the New England Patriots, a team that it's a short week for them. They played Monday night in Miami, taking on the Dolphins. Now, the Dolphins offensively challenged. Yet, against that overhyped, overrated, pathetic defense of the Patriots, the Dolphins, Chad Henne and the Dolphins had 488 yards. Imagine being the Dolphins. You have almost 500 yards in the game and you still lose by 2 touchdowns. Maybe you should tackle somebody. Patriots, 38-24. They had 622 yards total for this game, including a 99-yard touchdown pass to Welker from Tom Brady. Now, he threw it 25 to 30 yards, and the rest is history, but still 99-yard touchdown play on one play. So let's talk about my selection. One play, one time, Chargers plus the 7. I respect the Patriots at home. Tom Brady and the Patriots, 28 consecutive home wins when Brady has been the QB at home. 7 points, it's a bit happy. I'm going to be happy cashing the Chargers plus 7. So to recap our plays, Jacob, under 53. I like the Chargers plus the 7 points. Before we get to Let's Bet answers your questions, we'll take a station ID break.
No pressure. Hi, I'm Dennis Silvers from, can't think of the name of my damn show, Golf and Other 4-letter words, and you're watching the Vegas Video Network, I think.
Welcome back to Let's Bet. I'm your host, Scott Pritchard, alongside my co-host, Jacob Cannon. Executive producer Scott Whitney, great to have you with us. We're coming off an exciting week. Last week we had the Vegas Video Network VIP viewer party at Rum Bar at the Mirage. Great time. Hope to see you at the next one. You can catch Let's Bet every Friday morning, 11 o'clock Las Vegas time. All the shows on Vegas Video Network are rebroadcast on KSHP Radio AM 1400. It's time now for Let's Bet answers your questions. This is where we take questions, comments off the listener line, 866-966-4599, and or off the email, letsbet@Vegas Video Network. So Jacob, what do we have?
Several questions. The first one's from me, and it's a double-sided question. First off, I want to know how that Chargers game was. Was it good?
The Charger game was a lot of fun. I mean, 71,000 fans. The sun was out, great atmosphere. 17-7 Chargers down at halftime, and having a big fat sandwich. A friend of mine at halftime said, "Hey, are you concerned?" I said, "Yeah, I'm very concerned. The Chargers are down 10. They continue to shoot themselves in the foot. Statistically speaking, they're as good as anyone. But they came on and dominated the second half, but it's a tough way to make a living." I will say one thing. I touched on the fact that I'm not a big Norv Turner fan. I think the Chargers will get to the Super Bowl in spite of how bad of a coach he is. Explain this to me, friends. I'm glad you brought this up, Jacob. You got me on a tangent here. Here it is.
Do what I can.
Kading, star kicker for the Chargers. He's made 173 out of 200 field goals. He's out for the year. He hurt himself on that opening kickoff return, so he's out. So in the second quarter, the Chargers are down 17-7. They're at the Viking 25-yard line. It's 4th and 20. I'm thinking, wow, what are they going to do here? The kicker's out. So they go for it on 4th and 20, and I'm thinking, wow, how do you not have backup for the backup? We have people in the hallway ready to replace me and Jacob right now. So Scott Whitney has backups for the backups. Why not Norv Turner? So they went for it on 4th and 20, and what a shock, they didn't get it. So they passed on a 42-yard field goal attempt. So I'm thinking, okay, well, obviously they don't have a backup kicker. Third quarter, what's changed? It's 4th and 4 for the Chargers at the 23-yard line, or at the 25-yard line of the Vikings. So obviously they're going for it. No, let's bring in the backup punter. He kicks a field goal, splits the uprights. It's like, where was he in the second quarter? What has changed? It drives you nuts. As a professional sports bettor, things like that drive you crazy. 4th and 20, yeah, let's go for it. 4th and 4, no, let's go ahead and have the punter kick the field goal. He made it. So the idea is now they've signed Novak, okay? He signed with the Jets, he signed with the Redskins, and now he's with the Chargers. So their kicking game has been addressed as they prepare for the New England Patriots. I have no idea what the question was, but I hope I answered it.
Question was it a good game and how was it? You answered that. But here's my flip side of that question. Why'd you pay $20? You can get that for $5 off of Spring Mountain somewhere.
You might be able to get the obstructed view lap dance here in Las Vegas for $5, but hey, there's a difference between being live in person at the 50 at the Charger game and being stuck at Larry's Villa.
Oh, okay. All right. Point well taken. First question here is from Rick in Victorville, California. Any surprises opening weekend?
I think a couple of surprises, namely from a sports betting standpoint. That's all we really care about here at Vegas Video Network for this show, Let's Bet. The Kansas City Chiefs, we know how pathetic, horrendous, atrocious they are in the preseason, but I really felt, as did a lot of other sharp professional sports bettors, I felt when the regular season started, there would be some real value on the Chiefs. They were favored by 3. It was bet up to 6.5, which is a significant move. All the money came in on the Chiefs, minus the points. It's like, wow, did someone already see this? Is this game tape delayed? Has someone already seen the final score? How does it go from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 6.5? Well, the Bills didn't care. Buffalo won the game straight up 41-7, so everyone was wrong, and the sports books were right. I'm starting to understand why these sports books do stay open. Next.
Next one's a question here from Jonathan in Butte, Montana. Odd place. Never been there. He goes, double part question, how does weather influence the totals, and will we see additional running games since the first week seemed to be pass-oriented?
I think weather has a lot to do with whether you run or you pass. Obviously, in December and January in New England, I mean, the Patriots are so gifted, they're going to pass on every down, it doesn't matter. But adverse weather generally lends itself to the running game because, again, it's a controlled environment. So if you have a good offensive line up front and you can ball control it, play the clock, eat the clock, keep the defense on the sidelines by running the ball, student body right, student body left, good things generally will happen, especially if you don't have a running back that turns the ball over. Now, as far as weather, how does it come into play with the totals? The early bird gets the worm, especially in college football. They'll drag their feet on when they post totals. Oftentimes it's Tuesday, Wednesday. Other places will wait till the last possible moment before they post a total. But the information that you have, you can be savvy, you can have access to the information. Please understand that's what makes this so challenging, friends, is the sports bettors, well, the odds makers in particular, they have the same information, so do your due diligence. I'm not trying to sell you a house, but do your due diligence when it comes to sports betting, and the early bird generally takes the worm. I think that's the phrase. But the other thing is look at key numbers on totals, because again, we talked about 37 is the most common total in a pro football game, followed by 41, 44, 38, 45 in that order. 37, 41, 44, 38, 45. So on and off key numbers when you bet. Weather has a lot to do with it, and oftentimes be on the move early or against it late. So if there's a hurricane coming through, I am hearing voices here. Hello?
Okay, keep going.
Okay, good. All right, I don't have a headphone, but I'm hearing voices from the executive producer. Okay, Jacob, anything else?
Last question here is from Demise in Detroit, Michigan. Will we see the line totals move up or down, I'd say down, based upon opening weekend?
It's week to week, my friend. There's really no way of, I mean, if you see a specific trend, a la, I mean, I joked with a friend, I mean, the fact that the Miami Dolphins scored 24 points, gave up 38, and the fact that Tom Brady and the Patriots had 622 yards total in that game. And I know that the Chargers have a great offense, and I know that the Patriots have a great offense, and they do the hurry up, so it tends to lend itself to the over. And their defense is average. So I asked a friend of mine, I said, gosh, I asked Dink, I said, listen, what's the total on that Charger game? Is it like 85? It opened 51, it's been bet up to 53, 53.5, and a touch of 54. So if you like the over, you certainly want to bet it now, because once it starts to go, it generally doesn't come back until just before kickoff. And that has to do with people middling or being against the move early, meaning there might be an overlay or there may be overvalue in betting the total. That's going to wrap up this edition of Let's Bet. For Jacob Cannon, my co-host, I'm Scott Pritchard alongside our executive producer, Scott Whitney. He's about to throw something at me. Am I able to pick that up?
No.
Good,
Yeah,
great.
okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, good.
I'll be right back. All right, well, I'm going to try this. Vegas Video Network every Friday, 11 o'clock. I'm a fashion plate. Good God, I'm an Adonis. All right. Vegas Video Network, all the shows rebroadcast on KSHP Radio every Friday night, 6 o'clock. That's AM 1400. Jacob Cannon, myself, executive producer Scott Whitney. We're here live every Friday morning, 11 o'clock. Reach out to us, 866-966-4599. That's 866-966-4599. Email us at letsbet@vegasvideonetwork.com. That's letsbet@vegasvideonetwork.com. My website is pritchardspicks.com. That's pritchardspicks.com. For Jacob Cannon, Scott Whitney, I'm Scott Pritchard. Have a great week.